all right. Thank you. Welcome to today's show on Humanist TV, where we shall be bringing to you another edition of the newspaper report and review. I am still very good humanist advocate Obasi Ikechukwu, bringing to you today's review. Please stay with me. Let's go through what is happening around the world so that we can actually play safe, so that we can actually know how to make the world a better place for me and you. In the words of Michael Jackson, always try to be with us, to stay with us, to subscribe, like, and give your comment on what is happening around the world. All right, stay with me as I take you through the hottest newspaper headlines today. All right, let's go. The first on our headline is coming from some reporters. It reports as follows. If you want Igbos out of Lagos or Nigeria, don't demolish their properties. Simply conduct referendum. This is coming from Kano's lawyer, if a lawyer Ejimako tackles Lagos State government, Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu. He says, if you want Igbos out of Lagos or Nigeria, don't demolish their properties. Simply conduct referendum. This is coming from Kano's lawyer Ejimako as he tackles Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State of Nigeria and Tinubu. All right, this report is coming from some reporters. All right, let's have this one. Breaking. Liberian Electoral Commission declares opposition candidate Joseph Boaki winner of presidential pool. This is coming from some reporters. Yes, I gave this something that resembles this yesterday of how P2B of Labour Party commended this free and fair election. All right, let's take this. Court jails landlord for life in Lagos for defiling tenants' underage children. Court jails landlord for life in Lagos for defiling tenants' underage children. This report, you can look up the details on Sahara Reporters. All right, let's see this. Okay, let's see this. Exclusive: how Ellen Ondo State Governor Akeredolu spent 7.3 billion in 3 months on contingency without House of Assembly approval. Let me take it again. How Ellen Ondo State Governor Akeredolu spent 7.3 billion in 3 months on contingency without approval of House of Assembly. This report is coming from Sahara Reporters. You can look it up there, look up the details and know why. All right, let's take this one. All right, let's take this one. Democracy not working in African countries because it is Western. We have to think out of the box. This is coming from ex-Nigerian President Obasanjo. Let me take it again. Democracy not working in African countries because it is Western. We have to think out of box. Ex-President Obasanjo. What do you think about this report? All right, let's take the next on the headline. All right. Absence of George Stores hearing of application filed by Delta Tech Feedback Coordinator Ahoho that was illegally detained for over 15 months. All right, absence of George. Let's take it again. Absence of George of application filed by an activist, Ahoho, that has been illegally detained for months. All right. Let's take another report. Pop star Shakira strikes deal with the Spanish government to avoid 14.5 million pounds tax fraud. This report is coming from Sahara Reporters. You can get the details of this news, of this hot headline from Sahara Reporters. All right, let's take this. Nigerian police arrest traditional religion activist Ezako, transfer him to Abuja for criticizing Pastor Ebuka Obi over alleged fake miracles. Let me take this again. This is the hottest headline for the day. Nigerian police arrest traditional religion activist Ezako, transfers him to Abuja for criticizing Pastor Ebuka Obi over alleged fake miracles. We shall come back to this. All right, let's take this. Let's take this report. Let's take this report. Nigerian family laments as Benin Republic police detains son for 5 months over failure to pay 5,000 bribe. All right, let me take it again. Nigerian family laments as Benin Republic police detains son for refusing to pay 5,000 bribe. All right, you can go through the details on Sahara Reporters. All right, let's take this one. Bloodied bodies litter the floor. Video confirms Israeli bombing of bloodied bodies litter the floor. Video confirms Israeli bombing of United Nations school in northern Gaza. This report is coming from Sahara Reporters. All right, let's take this one. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. Lagos procurement record shows Governor Sanwo-Olu spent over 530 million naira on renovation of St. Andrew's Anglican Church. This is preposterous. You know, the state money is now being spent on religious organization, on a particular denomination. This is quite preposterous. All right, let's take another report. Don't marry a man you are not in love with. Don't marry a man you are not in love with. That is the reason a lot of you cheat. Angela Okori tells ladies. This is coming from Daily Times News. Daily Times News. This is coming from Daily Times News. Don't marry a man you are not in love with. All right, that is from a Nigerian actress. All right, let us take this. I will never have anything to do with any spirit or God that requires me to do 100 days of fasting before he can answer my prayer. All right, let me take it again. I will never have anything to do with any spirit or God that requires me to do 100 days of fasting before he can answer my prayers. Does he want me to die? Father Angelo Chidi Unegbu. All right, this is coming from Daily Times where a certain Reverend Father posed this question to the masses. What do you think the listeners? All right, let's take this. Sending children to buy alcoholic drinks dangerous. Psychologist warns. This is coming from Punch News. It reports that sending children to buy alcoholic drinks are dangerous. This is an advice from a renowned psychologist. All right, and it's coming from Punch News. You can read it up so that you can learn what the expert advice and opinion has to say. All right, let's take this one. Court denies man accused of defiling cousin bail. This report is coming from Daily Trust. This report is coming from Daily Trust. All right, we shall come back to this. Let's take this one. Special report. How Kanu residents die of maternal mortality amid billions spent on non-existent projects. Let me take it again. Special report. How Kanu residents die of maternal mortality amid billions spent on non-existent projects. All right, let's take this one. All right, let me know what you think. The viewers, you can drop your comment. Let us know what you think on these hot headlines making waves around our various society, around Africa, around Nigeria, particularly where I am reporting from. All right, let's go over to the first report. On today. All right, if you want Igbos out of Lagos, this report is coming. This is coming from Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. if you don't want Igbo, if you want Igbos out of Lagos or Nigeria, don't demolish their properties. Simply conduct referendum. This is coming from Aloy Jimako, counsel, lawyer to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, a group seeking independence of the old eastern Nigeria and the coastal area of Nigeria. He has come out to say that because since Sawolu emerged and became the leader of the governor of Lagos State, there have been reports that various shops belonging to Igbos, the people of Igbo, have been subjected to demolitions. So one of the lawyers, of course, Nnamdi Kanu has so many lawyers defending his case, which includes Chief Michael Zekome, SAN, and Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Then this particular lawyer, my mentor, Barrister Aloy Jimako, that is issuing this particular report that if you don't want Igbos, if you want Igbos out of Lagos or Nigeria, don't demolish their properties. Simply conduct referendum. What do you think, viewers? Well, for me, I think this advice is a very good one. It's well thought out. Oh yes, referendum would have been the best instead of us conflicting, instead of the two parties always conflicting, the general populace of the Igbo of Nigeria and the Igbos always involved in conflict. We can actually have a dialogue in form of referendum, have a dialogue where we can actually decide the fate of each region. Not always sustaining oneness at the expense of freedom, at the expense of humanity, at the expense of human lives. I keep saying it. Any unity that we cause problem is better not sustained. It's better we have divided peace than united war, united conflict in the midst of forced unity. So that is it. Referendum has always been the best. Referendum has always been the best to decide the fate of a people. It was referendum that made some part of Cameroon to come to Nigeria. It was referendum that made Africa to have a country called Southern Sudan and Northern Sudan. So instead of sustaining a unity that will always result in mayhem to humanity, it is better we come to a round table, we dialogue, we have a referendum. So that is for that. Let's see this. Let's see the next one. The next one on the list. I've talked about this earlier on in our last edition of the show. In our last edition, how Liberia have set a good pace for Africa. How Liberia, thank you for that. Liberian Electoral Commission declares opposition candidate Joseph winner of presidential pool. Unlike the normal African election that is always like a civil war, the incumbent president considered defeat to opposition. That is a good one for democracy in Africa. It means that Africa can be better again if people can always do this. If people can always, let the mandate of the people to prevail and not trying to use litigation, use autocracy. What I call autocracy, you can quote me. What I call autocracy in place of democracy. In Africa, autocracy have replaced democracy. It is no longer a government of the people, by the people, for the people. It is now government of the gods, by the gods, and for the gods. Oh yes, but this is a welcome development for Africa. So other African countries, Liberia have set a good template. Other African countries can follow suit and do the needful, and not always make election in Africa a tussle, a tug of war. So let's embrace this type of example. In fact, this is an example not just to Africa, it's an example to the whole world. Because oftentimes we tend to euphemize things happening in America, in some parts of Europe. There's also corruption there. There's also electoral violence there. Just that the media is also censored there. If you go to Russia, it is what the president tells the media to speak that they speak. If you speak otherwise, well, you have problems. So this is not just a template, a good template for Africa. This is a good template for the whole world. This is a good template for democracy, for world democracy. All right, let's take this report. Court jails landlord. Court jails landlord in Lagos for defiling tenants' underage children. I wonder what is wrong with our brain. I wonder why the negative publicity and report we keep getting is defilement of children. I wonder the sexual pleasure, the sexual satisfaction that a man, an adult person will get for defiling little children. It is not only men that perpetrate this evil, this dastardly crime. Some women, actually, some nannies actually do that. Some housemaids actually melt that to the children of their employer. This is practically pathetic. Sometimes I do not often, as a person that is versed in criminology to some extent, I do not always advocate for the criminal aspect of it, for the this our normal criminal justice system. There are more to some of these practices. We do not care so much about our mental health. In as much as I want this man to be jailed for life, I support the court ruling. I also support rehabilitation for the minor that is a victim of this this dastardly act. I want rehabilitation. Offenses comes with a lot of trauma that any of the victims will always require rehabilitation. And I also want for us to correct futuristic evil. What I equally recommend is for our judicial system, is for our system or our society to also take care of our mental health. Most of these people committing some of these offense, some of these dastardly acts against the minors seems to be suffering from pedophilia, a mental illness. Pedophiles that makes them become pedophiles, have sexual affiliation, affection towards children. If our society can invest on mental health, some of these things can be reduced. It is not only on physical health that we're not even taking care of properly. Is it not all this getting indulged with quacks, self-medication that have eluded our society? Not to talk of. So our society should improve in our health sectors. We should take care of our mental, not just our physical health, our mental health is also important. Because some of these persons, I wonder, as an adult, the pleasure I will derive from making out with a minor. Sometimes it is often associated with pedophilia, with mental illness. So with mental illness, mental health issues. So it doesn't only end in keeping the person out of the society for life. The person should be rehabilitated. The person's mental health should be treated, because I feel that not denouncing your religion that should be regarded as mental health. What should be regarded as mental health is this pedophilia that has made child defilement offenses to become the order of the day in Africa, in Nigeria particularly. All right, All right, let's also take this one. Let's also take this one. Democracy not working in African countries. Democracy not working in African countries because it is Western. Well, I agree with this to some extent. I agree with this to some extent. And on the other hand, I disagree to some extent. Because historically, democracy did not just that the Western people, the Western people are good, are so good in hijacking everything. Democracy did not actually start in the Western world. Democracy did not actually start in Athens. The Africans have democracy. In the Igbo society where I come from, we are culturally democratic. It is even the marriage of, it is even the clash of the marriage of Western imperialism that distorted our real democracy. So, what I should advise, instead of saying that democracy is not is Western, that we should think out of the box. The out of the box that we should think out of, or the box that we should think out of, is going back to our roots. The box or the out of the box thinking that we should engage in is going back to our roots and know the actual democracy that is in practice in our ancient time. Knowing the actual democracy that is operative according to our culture, according to our way of life. I don't mean culture because not all our culture, not all our cultures are good. There are some positive cultures. Whenever I mention our culture, the culture I refer to is negative cultures, not the cultures that promote gender-based violence, not the culture that promote toxic patriarchy. That's not the culture I'm talking about. The culture I'm talking about is the culture that promotes equity, that promotes justice, that promotes love, that promotes democracy. Just like in the tribe I come from, the Igbo tribe, we are democratic. Just like every other part of African country, there is democracy in tune in our various ways of life. All right, let's take this. Let's take this from a renowned from a renowned psychologist. From a renowned psychologist. Okay, don't send children to buy alcohol. It is dangerous. You know, the report is stating that sending children to buy alcoholic drinks dangerous. Psychologists words. Yes, the report is actually noting something that is very important, something that is so crucial. I don't know what is practically wrong with our people. Parenting is lopsided. Parenting is now a problem that, we push what is necessary parenting. Our society feels that we feel in our society that that parenting is all about taking children to religious centers. It's not. It's not parenting. It's not parenting. There are some core values that you need to, imbibe on on your children. So parenting is all about taking them there, to learn your relative morality. No, parenting supersedes that. There are certain things you don't expose children to. That is why under our extant law, National Tobacco Act, though some persons don't even comply to these rules. Under Tobacco Act, you don't smoke where children are. It is unlawful. You don't smoke in a public place for children to see you. You smoke in your closet if you must smoke. Under the laws governing alcohol and intakes of alcohol, in Nigeria you don't take alcohol unless you are up to 18 years. These rules tend to dissuade taking alcoholic drinks by children. So if the law disallows children to take alcohol, why sending them to buy alcoholic drinks for you? So it is dangerous. It is dangerous. All right, let's observe a short break. We shall be right back to continue with the show. We are still on Humanist TV Africa, where we are bringing to you back to back today's hot headlines. Stay with us as we shall be right back after the short break.
Hello, Cynthia.
Yes.
Can we see today?
Are we blind before?
Hello, Cynthia.
Yes.
Can we see today?
Are we blind before?
Hello, Cynthia.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Humanist TV Africa on today's edition of Newspaper Report and Review with Obasi Ikechukwu. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take this. Nigerian police arrest traditional religion activists. Nigerian police arrested traditional religion activists. This report is actually a report making, circulating around all over media. All over media, you will get this report all over media. So it is quite pathetic that freedom of thought, conscience, and religion have become a problem. There's something important about this report. All right, let me take it. Nigerian police arrest traditional religion activist Ezako, transfer him to Abuja for criticizing Pastor Ebukobi over alleged fake miracles. First thing I want to bring out of this is the attitude of the Nigerian police and other security operatives. Sorry? These operatives have become an agent or agents of suppression of fundamental human rights. That is number one. In fact, some of these operatives have been made an official tout, not just for the government, but for some persons that possess religious powers, economic powers, not just the government. You will see a person, just because you are a musician and you are touching some cash, you get some police to become your escort. And those policemen, regardless of their uniform, their hallowed uniform, they are ready to beat up a person that you send them to beat. So the security operatives in Nigeria have made themselves pseudo thugs to some of these people that feel they wield some powers in the society. If you talk of that politician, if you talk of that of politicians, it's a bit understandable, because he who pays the piper dictates the tune. In some cases, I may to some extent expect that. But what baffles me more is, allowing yourself to be used as puppet by ordinary civilians because they wield some powers, because they wield some influence. Yes, it is alleged, but there is sometimes truth, reality in some rumors. It has been alleged that the person that caused the arrest of this gentleman, that is a traditional religious worshipper or a traditional religious activist, was a certain Ebuka Obi. Because this man is a man that is realistic. This Ezako is a realist. In fact, is a modern traditional religious person, traditional religion activist. He will come out. Had it been I have copyright over some of his media talks, I would have aired it here. This man will come to social media and expose reality. Because what some of these clerics come to Nigeria to do is to give people false hopes. Imagine a person that will fall sick and go to the hospital. When a member falls sick, he will tell the person to come and get to come to his church and get divine healing. If there is divine healing, you should first of all heal yourself. These are some of the topics. These are some of the things this man does. This Ezako, exposing some of these false hopes being given to Nigerian citizens. A person that will go to London, that will travel abroad and treat himself whenever he is sick, will come and sell anointing oil to the poor and tell them that it heals. If anointing oil heals, why not take anointing oil whenever you are sick? But they will not do that. They will, you not even, because some of them, through offering, because of offering and tithe, they have become rich, and because they are working in synergy with our political class. That prebendalism that Barrister Hype once spoke of. They are working with our politicians, and they are also, amassing wealth through the poor masses offering and tithes, and donations and seed offerings. They make a lot of money. So because of that, they will have the resources to go abroad and get the best medical treatment anyone can have. But we come to the ordinary citizens, the poor masses that are struggling to feed and still, collect the little they have and sell false hopes to them. Stage some miracles that cannot be verified, that cannot be proved. And this man had come to challenge them to, took some persons alleged to some sick persons and, call them out to heal them if they actually have such powers they possess. But these people couldn't answer him, couldn't answer him, showing that they are not actually real. In reaction to this man's calling them out, what did they do? They allegedly sent the police to arrest him. And he was even arrested on Sunday, without a warrant of arrest. Do you do arrest lawfully on Sundays? Unless there is something extraordinary that is happening, there is an insurrection that you need to suppress as a security operative. You don't do arrest on Sunday. And if you must arrest a person when the crime is not being committed, you wait on the working days to get a warrant of arrest from a court of competent jurisdiction before you effect an arrest. But it didn't comply with all these things. They were just acting. Most of these DPOs, you procure them, and some of them, let me not say most, they are good police officers in Nigeria. But some people have soiled their minds. Some people have been bought with money. That once a person flaunts money at your face, you just forget professional ethics, you just forget rules of engagement. So that was how they arrested this man for expressing himself. And the concern raised, if it is an advanced country, a society that respects the rule of law, the society that respects freedom of expression, the concern raised by this young man that necessitates his arrest is something that the government is supposed to look into. I've been calling on the government to look at some of these stage managed miracles, because in law, fraud and misrepresentation is presenting things that are not real. So whenever you come out, you can practice your religion without trying to. There are some clergies that just try to preach without doing some form of shenanigans in the name of staging fake miracles. These are some of the things he called, because I keep telling people some of these things, if you get sick, go to the hospital. It is only medical science that heals. It is only medical science that heals. They are just deceiving you guys there. They are just deceiving them there. So, but the problem, these people want to be deceived. The reason we are raising concern over this, is that the high level of false hopes being given to our people in Africa has caused laziness. joblessness. As I was coming to the studio today, I saw some persons who should be doing something fruitful with their life, working to fend for their families, sleeping somewhere that they call religious ministries. It is quite pathetic. And this will increase joblessness, idleness. And some of these things affect the economic strength of a country when people become armchair speculators, making wishful thinking without embracing hard working. You think if you stay indoors and shout and pray from today to next year that you will get anything fruitful? No, you have to work. If you don't work, you don't achieve anything. Even after shouting in your ministry, you must come back home and cook before you eat. You cannot be there shouting and food will cook itself. You cannot be there shouting. Shouting does not mint money. The people that mint money is Central Bank of Nigeria or Central Bank of any country. And how do you get those money is to involve in fruitful activities. But some of these people you call clerics are out there to deceive people. They establish their own business and be cashing out, whereas some of their puppets, some of the people they are deceiving will be there listening to them, whereas they are cashing out. So, but good enough, I am hearing rumors as on the course of this show that they said arrested Ezako have been released. Though it's a rumor, but I will try to verify it. When I verify that show, I will come back to this TV and air it. It's a rumor that he has been released, but it's so pathetic. I wonder why his lawyer has not filed for the mental rights suit against the Nigerian police. You don't use police to intimidate people. If you think he has spoken against your God, go and invoke your God to deal with him, to punish him, not using the police. Some of these things you guys do, like first, the first thing that made me, that proved to me that religion was just human crafted was the arrest of Mubarak Bala. If you think Mubarak Bala blasphemed, consult the Supreme Being, let the Supreme Being deal with Mubarak Bala, not using the police, not using the system. It proves to me that you are the person that put up this system to control people. So when people go against the system you put up, you use the government to fight the person. But if you think that some of these supreme beings you claim to possess its powers, have such powers you ascribe to it, once a person blasphemes, consult the supreme being to strike the person himself, not using the police. So when you do all these things, it makes people to become more free thinking. It's not just more free thinkers. When you fight for your gods, allow your gods to fight. Once a person blasphemes your God, go and consult the God. Sometimes, let me conclude. Let me say this before I conclude, and get the view of get comment from the viewers before I conclude. Oftentimes, what people think is God's punishment is normal suffering that human beings are prone to. When a person is criticizing your God and he dies, you guys will come to social media. You guys will say the person that God has punished the person that he died as a result of blasphemy. Whereas you, the person that has not blasphemed, will still die. Death is inevitable. When I face challenges, or when a free thinker faces challenges, you say that it's because of divine wrath. The same wrath you are facing. We all are, as humans, are prone to face some wrath, are prone to face suffering. I keep telling people, as I am, in fact, every day I expect suffering. I expect the unexpected to happen. In fact, I keep telling people, anybody born into this earth is a potential dead man. Once you are born into this earth, you are facing death. You are on a death row. You can die any day. Whether you are a child, whether you are an adult, you can die any day. So don't feel too special. So that is the problem. However, I keep telling you, if you think I speak against your God, don't call police on me. You understand? You can actually consult the gods to deal with me. But whenever you go and use the government to fight me, it means you are increasing free thinking. Because what you have done to Ezako, Matthias Ezako, has made some persons to become free thinkers by force. When you show yourself to be powerless, some of the packaging, some of the things you package, and some of your make beliefs will become clear that they are all fake. So sometimes, if you know what is good for you, when anybody attacks your guard, go and consult the guard to fight the person. Don't use the police, or don't come and be fighting the person yourself. If you do that, you are just showing that your God is powerless. So let me put on my glasses so that I can see the color of our problems, the problem of Africans, as I come to the end of this show. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Thank you for this wonderful one. Thank you, the viewers. I remain your good brother on Humanist TV Africa. So thank you. See you in the next edition of this hallowed show. Always subscribe. Always visit Humanist TV Africa for a well thought show, for a show that is devoid of superstition, for a show that is devoid of bias. We just here to give you raw. We don't filter our events. You can censor your media. You can censor your media to give some euphemistic reportage, but just like following the steps of Linda Tilly, we report ourselves, report the truth ourselves without giving a damn of whatever you may think about what we are doing right here. All right, thank you for that. One love to all of you. One love. See you in the next edition. Thank you.